Hey everybody, welcome to MCARBO. This is Justin here. We've got another trigger install for you. This time it's going to be for the Glock 17 Gen 5. Now with the Glock Gen 5, they did make a couple of changes. Unfortunately, we can't just swap out the trigger on this one. We have to swap out the trigger and the assembly because this trigger is stuck to that assembly unless you want to break it off, and nobody wants to do that. So for today, super simple, easy install. Not going to need much. We got our bench block. We've got a 3/30 seconds punch. Got our little trusty hammer, our firearm, and our trigger kit. Let's go ahead and take a look at that trigger kit real quick. See what all comes in it. You know, what's in the box. What's in the box? We have got our 2 set screws for pre-travel and over-travel, and our hex key. We have our trigger, MCARBO trigger with our trigger bar itself. And then we have our 2 fixtures for setting the pre-travel and over-travel. Okay, so now that we've gone through that, let's go ahead and get started on this. So first things first, as always with any firearm, you're going to go ahead and render that safe. Make sure there's nothing in there that we got to be worried about. It's going to go crazy for us. Once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and make sure it's pointed in a safe direction and pull the trigger. Now on either side of the firearm, you will notice these 2 little levers. You have to pull down on them both to be able to get the slide to release. There we go. Best way to do that is pull back a little bit on the slide, pull down on the tabs, and bada bing, bada boom, we got her done. Pull out our bench block. First one we're going to go ahead and pin we're going to do is this back one right here. Now this pin you should be able to just push out. There we go. This pin right there. Hammer time. Straight through. Comes right out. Alright, so now that we got that done, again, really easy to take care of. So this locking block that you see right here, we're going to want to use our 3/30 seconds punch and just get up underneath that locking block like so, and then just use leverage. Just keep pushing it, and then until we can get that to pop right out. Super simple and easy. We're going to go to this back end, and this is the slide stopper lever. We're going to go ahead and pull that out. Now once we've got that pulled out, this back end comes right out. Just put your finger underneath there, boom, and the whole unit comes out. Now when you're taking this apart, as you can see, it has that little pin there, but that pin does not come out. It doesn't have a correlating spot on the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to the back side of this, push down this little metal part right here that you see, that one right there where my thumb is. Push that down, and then we're going to do a little wiggle, and out comes the whole trigger bar and trigger assembly. Set that off to the side, and we can set this here for the moment. Now that we've got that on, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the MCARBO trigger. You will notice that there are 2 spots for the screws, there and there. Now, when it comes to pre-travel and over-travel, it's always going to be a matter of your preference. What do you feel is best for you? I personally like as little travel with my trigger as possible. But for some people, I understand that, I don't think that's going to be such a good idea. And I get that. So one thing I do recommend when using this hex key with this tiny little screw that you see right there is that you put the hex key in the screw before you actually try to screw it in. So you've got that hole there. I'm going to push that in there just so it's flush. Then we're going to do the same thing for over travel. Just going to put that in there. Yeah, we're just going to go. Yeah, we got it in there. And again, we're just doing this until it's flush. See? Flush right there. Okay, now that we've got that flush, it's time to put it all back together. Again, super simple and easy job here. So for this one, you'll want to note that little notch in there. Yeah, there you go. That little notch in there. You want to make sure that that part of the trigger, that little bar in the front, sits directly in that. So we're going to slide that in there like so. Do a little bit of wiggle, and boom. Assembly's back together. Grab our frame. Now, when you're putting it back in the frame, you will have to push in on the trigger bar so that it sits properly. Again, super easy. Put in slide stop release, locking block, and then we're going to go to our 2 pins. Back pin first. I'll be honest, I do the back pin because I can just put it in with my finger. Now when it comes to putting in the trigger pivot pin, the super important pin, you've got to make sure everything is lined up correctly with that hole. Because if you do not, ain't nothing getting through, no matter how badly you want it to. So now that you got that in, use your punch to finish it off all the rest of the way. Slide. And boom, you are all set. You have a nice, beautiful, crisp MCARBO trigger, and it is working beautifully. All right, folks, that is all we have for you today. But as always, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to us at help@mcarbo.com. We'll be more than glad to give you some assistance. Again, thank you guys, and have a beautiful day.